have to sort this out on my own. Without the council. And without you. Stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council. And without you.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Diet in the Forest. And it's a good one. We have a preview from Daniel Jose Older's Trail of Shadows. If you like sadness, this preview is for you. We got some stuff coming from RONIN. We have the book of Boba Fett. Depending on you guys, we might talk about the Lego Halloween special that just came out, and of course, we're going to hang out with you. So super excited. We're going to jump into that right now here on Diet in the Forest.
Seen for generations, a Diet in the Force.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Diet in the Force, episode 46. We are getting very, very close to our anniversary.
Yeah. Time just flies, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't feel like I've been doing this for that long, you know. And then when you said, "Hey, it's episode 52," or was it 52? Episode 52?
Episode 53 of mine because it passed me so quickly. Wasn't even paying attention. But that's like going around a lap and then starting on one. So, you know, being a drummer, you gotta start on the one.
Absolutely. We are definitely going to be talking about Trail of Shadows preview, Ronin, Book of Boba Fett, and then an open forum for everyone to kind of let us know what y'all want to talk about. I am going to summon up a poll right now for you guys to take so we know if we want to talk about it. Have you seen Terrifying Tales? And take the poll. We'll see how it looks. I don't know how it looks right now. But if you guys see a poll, vote on it. There it is. If enough people have seen Terrifying Tales, the Lego special, we will make some time to talk about it. But if not, that's fine. You can skip over it. Also, if you have trouble keeping up with what we're talking about, just pay attention to the topic carousel up there. It will change as we change topics. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Help out the channel. It really does
Become
help.
a squadron pilot. Brooke just became one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
By the way, you gotta watch Brooke stream. It's always entertaining to watch her play Fallen Order. And check out Far Far Away Factory.
Which brings us to this card right here, Far Far Away Factory on Instagram, B_Dazzler on TikTok, etsy.com/shop/Far Far Away Factory. Look at those shoes, look at those shirts, look at that jacket, and look at those earrings.
Look at these shoes.
Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think
Look
my
at this jacket.
collection's complete?
Oh, I was gonna go, look at this jacket. Isn't it sweet?
Go, keep going, keep going.
Yeah, I can't. I'll work on something. I'll work on a jingle for you.
Let's see here. Everybody in the chat. We have Ace Bronx, Saint Pat, X-Core Gamer Skills, Darth Man 86, Amber, Malik, Nicole. Hello, Nicole. From our TikTok live, Ven Skywalker, Xanatos, Julia, Brooke, as we mentioned. Corellia Coffee Works, Haley, welcome to the show. Star Wars lawyer Chris is in the house. I'm thinking of doing an impromptu watch party in my Discord. Watching what?
Nicole says, keep singing, y'all. But like, since we were doing Little Mermaid, I hear it as, keep singing!
Hey! I need to put this up top so that you can see it over things. Yes, Nicole, thank you for subscribing. I don't know why you didn't subscribe before. You should have subscribed. It's as easy as hitting subscribe. I'm gonna keep on saying subscribe.
You can't hypnotize people that way.
Okay. Watching Terrifying Tales. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, Choco mentions becoming a member of Squadron 7, hitting that join button or clicking the link in the description. It's the price of coffee every month. You support the channel, and you get to join our public Discord and watch movies with us. We're in the middle of watching Darth Choco's first Harry Potter series. He's watched the first movie. What did you think?
Yeah, I didn't realize how many memes come from the first movie. It was like, oh, I know this one.
I think in the coming Friday, depending on your schedule coming up, we might go into the second movie. But I was discussing with people on my TikTok live about the possibility of doing a Akira Kurosawa movie watch-alongs as well.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that'd be dope. Also, if anyone is interested, like, I've been talking about it for a while. We just haven't done it because things got crazy. But Revenge of the Sith with a director's commentary on it. You know?
Yeah.
There's some nice little behind the scenes nuggets and stuff that go on in there. I think it's be interesting to watch for people.
Nicole says, I didn't realize I wasn't subscribed before. I'm sorry. Loudly crying face, loudly crying face, loudly crying face. I get to read these instead of looking at the emotes because it doesn't show, at least on this, but I can see it in chat. Choco and Element, you guys know what houses you're in? Yes.
Same house.
I am in Ravenclaw.
I am also in Ravenclaw.
And no matter how many times we've taken it, it's always been Ravenclaw. Now I think the next one after his second movie will probably be his wand, and after the third movie, his Patronus. Actually, I think you can take the wand quiz now, but mine is a Hazelwood wand, hard flexibility, 10 3/4 inch. It's on my desk over there. I don't want to take it out. But y'all know Hazel is like the best woods, you know.
Well, yeah,
okay.
I mean, it's a family show.
I guarantee you're gonna get Hazel on your wand. The dyad must continue.
I mean, I'm fond of cherry wood myself, but that's probably not something like.
I don't think there is. No.
Okay.
Just
like in real life, though, we used to have a lot of cherry wood stuff. like it's a dark wood.
So it looks like 81% said no on Terrifying Tales. Therefore, we shan't talk about it lest we spoil things.
Indeed.
Nicole says, I don't know anything about Harry Potter, but I've been classified as either Slytherin or Ravenclaw. I think you'd be a slithering raven. I don't know how that works. But you are a raven. I just don't know if you have claws. Haven't decided that yet.
I would help, but I don't know what it means yet.
St. Pat's a Slytherin? That's actually pretty interesting that you are. Purple wood is the strongest stuff I've ever seen. I have no idea what purple wood is.
Purple wood. Purple wood. What's up, Darth Man? How you doing, man?
Darth Man, is that the same Darth Man that is doing currently the Visions reviews?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I've
been seeing them. I haven't been interacting with all of them, so I'm sorry about that. But
yeah,
I've been enjoyed checking them
out. Haley says, y'all should watch Terrifying Tales. Absolutely. And then Nicole says, raven-haired shoddy with metaphorical claws. I'll accept
True.
that. It looks like we have Chris, who is a Hufflepuff for life, along with Haley. So 2 Hufflepuffs. Amber
I think what Chris means to say is yub nub for life. Right, Chris?
Amber is a Slytherin that everyone mistakes as Hufflepuff. Oh man, feels bad. Okay, let's see what we got first on the horizon. Zero Dawn.
Yeah, we are talking Trail of Shadows. Now,
Yeah.
this is gonna reveal some information, but it's been out for a while, so
Now, is it really like it's an issue 1 preview, right?
yeah. So you haven't seen it yet.
I have not. I was waiting to go over it. Oh, snap.
This is the sadness I was telling you about.
Guys in the chat, hopefully you didn't see that, but I implore you to close your eyes for this segment. We'll try our best not to speak of what we're seeing in like explicit words.
If you didn't give them the if yet, if you haven't read the book,
Yes.
why is it Rising Storm? If you haven't read the Rising Storm yet and haven't run into the information that happens, and you don't want to be spoiled, then close your eyes. But if not, Daniel Jose Older is hurting us. You know, we thought he was the nice one, and we were wrong.
Yeah. So wrong. So wrong, in fact, that I'm going to tweet at him soon. Oh, I've forgotten my announcements. I got the Twitter handle to match my TikTok. Yay!
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yes, at _element7_ on Twitter. Finally. And unfortunately, someone is preventing me from doing it on Instagram. So Instagram is _element7__. We do what we do, you know. Darth has to be .choco at some points.
Yeah. I'm getting there.
Okay. So close your eyes for this first panel, guys, if you haven't read Rising Storm. I'll give you a 5-second counter. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What the hell?
Damn!
I don't know why he would do this. And then this right here in the bottom, that message.
Yeah.
This is, I can't believe he's starting issue 1 with this scene.
Yeah. So yeah, no, there's some sadness. It's Spain without the S. But
Jesus.
we got to this last image, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna cosplay that because he looks dope.
Which one? Belle?
That one.
Oh wait, no, this isn't Belle, is it?
No, Belle was in the other panel. 2 up. There he is.
Oh, okay.
Over by Indira.
I see him. And then we're at Vaba Blank's Midnight Den. Okay, you can open your eyes again. Guys, you can open your eyes if you haven't read The Rising Storm. We're past the pain. This is why you can't trust anyone. Kefar Branto has been tangled up in almost every mess imaginable. So is this like a criminal underworld thing?
Yeah. So these are the 2 main characters of the comic run. We have the woman here, and the Black Jedi man. So we jump from one to the other so we can kind of get some background on the both of them. Don't know how they're going to come together, but I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love like the aesthetic of this art. It's reminding me of War of the Bounty Hunters art, really. But
yeah,
High Republic.
Some Smuggler's Moon vibes.
Hey, Jedi DePaul, dropping the love. In the middle of doing some video marketing editing, so just stopping by. Thank you for stopping by, man. And thank you for the ramen. Appreciate you.
Always appreciate you. Thank you.
And that's it for the preview. So we have a preview of our Black Jedi, picking up some evidence. I was about to scroll all the way up. And then our second protagonist doing some investigation.
Yeah, but I'm liking it. This noir detective vibes, and that's kind of the purpose of this book. So if this is murder mysteries are dope, I'm into it.
Oh yeah, I think this panel is my favorite run, because you don't typically see Jedi in that type of scenario where they're investigating.
Yeah, it's got some Batman vibes on this.
Yes.
On that scene, and that's why that's one of the reasons why I'm into it.
This is very awesome. I can't wait for Trail of Shadows, especially knowing where it falls in the timeline, given the upper panels. I will not scroll back up, guys. Don't worry. You're safe here now. The pain train has disappeared. Herod says, I can sense Star Wars lawyer putting his Filoni hat on. And Xanatos says, I want more Lily Tora Asi. I do too. And you will.
Same.
I think...
but it's not coming out for a while.
Wait, when is volume 2?
I thought it said it was February.
Really? Dang.
But let me double check.
All right. Well, I want more of Lily Torasi too. I think just in general, with my disposition towards anime, let me kind of become a big fan of hers very quickly.
February 8th.
Now I saw Nicole here. I didn't see Marianne. I will join your live, and I will scold you later. Or did you see Marianne?
I feel like she joined at the very, very beginning, said something, and then dipped out.
What did she say? Hi, I'm hereby.
But now I don't see it. But I'm also not sure if this scrolls all the way up to the very top.
I don't know.
Anyways, we'll get her.
We'll get her. Okay, so can't wait for more Trail of Shadows. When is this coming out? Did it say? Oh man, I'm gonna have to scroll back up.
I'm
Scroll fast. Okay, got it.
Let me see if it says at the beginning, because I am viewing it privately. October 13th.
October 13th in 2 weeks. It's a galactic whodunit. I'm super stoked. Let's see here. After the Rising Storm, Jedi lie dead, and there are seemingly no leads as to who's behind the attack, but Jedi Knight Emmerich Kafter and in-demand Private Eye Sean Holt are on the case. Okay, I like that description already. And of course, you can pre-order these now on Amazon and Comixology or anywhere comics are sold. Have you contacted? No, we don't have anyone at Marvel, do we? Gonna have to.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But you know, working on it.
Absolutely. Yeah, stay tuned for October 13th with Trail of Shadows, our first galactic whodunit and investigative detective series. But moving right along with our Ronin excerpt read along. Guys, if you were a fan of The Duel on Star Wars Visions, this is our expansion of Master Ronin from The Duel. And this is an excerpt from the Visions novel Ronin by Emma Mieko Kandin. And it's chapter 1, so it's not like in the middle and it's not kind of like spoiling things. So let's read this together. 2 months after the Ronin arrived on the outer rim world of Ginbara, he ran out of credits. This concerned him less than it did B556, who took every opportunity to scold. Look at it this way, he told his trundling companion. No need to worry about where we'll sleep. A man with no coin had no reason to place or to pace his trek in terms of outposts and inns. He could pay for no bed, thus he could wander to his heart's content. And the woodland vistas of Ginbara did reward the wandering. Vast stretches of pine were interrupted only by patches of farmland claimed by settlers rebuilding their lives far from the scars war had left on worlds nearer the galaxy's core. The Ronin slept that night under a small lean-to that a local woodcutter had told him of the day before, when he passed the old man's hut on his way into the mountains. The mountains, sir, are you sure? The woodcutter had said as he sucked his teeth. They sat on the veranda of the man's hut and shared a pot of stale tea. It had been the last of the Ronin's tea, but he offered it freely in exchange for hot water and company. You'll want to follow this road up, past the ridge. It will take you to a village in the valley, if it's there. An ominous thing to say. To the Ronin, it suggested he was on the right course. B5 saw the look in his eye. The droid's own eye flashed from red to blue under his thatched hat as he murmured a warning. The woodcutter, who had no facility with binary, mistook the dome-headed astromech's sound for nervousness. He grinned. There were 4 villages up there, little droid, when I first built my humble hut. Then there were 3, then 2, now just 1. Word is they angered a spirit that doesn't take kindly to settlers. Yet he thinks the spirits don't mind him, said a voice in the Ronin's ear. Mountains are different, the Ronin said. The woodcutter, who thought he had been spoken to, nodded sagely. B5 swiveled a baleful eye to fix on the Ronin in what was likely supposed to be a glare. The Ronin pretended not to notice it, but he did remind himself to be careful. On occasion, when in the company of others, his responses to the voices were dismissed. On other occasions they were not, and this could go quite badly. If the village in the mountain still stood, he would be among new people soon, and they sounded like a superstitious lot. The following morning, He stretched the cold out of his limbs as he rose and ate half a ration stick from his pouch, the last remaining. The chewing was slow going with the ache. He rubbed at the line of old metal that supported his jaw from ear to ear. B5 grumbled at him all the while, calling him old and simple besides. Surely, the droid said, his master remembered that he had the means to acquire enough credits to fund his fool journey until it killed him, or at least enough to purchase a more up-to-date prosthetic. Yet he hoarded his bounty to the point that some shamefully mundane evil would doubtless get him first. Perhaps the chill, or infection, or worse. I know I would be more foolish to try to sell one of these, said the Ronin, patting the treasures hidden in the folds of his robes. Where would I say I got it? Choco, you want to read the rest?
Well, I had to jump into somewhere else, so I don't know where we are. Keep going.
Then what do you plan to do with your winnings other than collect them? The voice asked, rather bitterly at that. He wouldn't give her an answer. Not one she could stand. Moved by a reflexive guilt, he glanced at the inner lining of the long hooded vest he wore as a cloak. The robe had weighed the same for at least a year now, when he had last added to the collection within. The crystals, sewn into the seam, glinted as if in greeting, letting off red flickers that illuminated his fingers, elated by the promise of his attention. They wanted him to touch them, to take them and give them use. He let the robe fall closed, crystals untouched. Here was his reason, even if she didn't care for it. So long as he carried them, they could bring no further harm. Outside of what harm you commit, she said. If you wish me dead, he said, as he stepped out into the needle-strewn path between the pines, you have only to point the way. Go on to your little village, then. Experience told him that she would provide no further advice. After all, she would doubtless prefer that whatever he met in the village be the end of him, rather than the other way around. The chill of the night bled into spring as the sun rose. The Ronin stepped on the ridge overlooking the last village left in the mountains, B556 at his side. In the distance, at the far end of a pine-ridden valley, the swooping lines of a crashed ship gleamed whitely. Some sleek, gallant vessel that had met its ignoble end, face first, in the sloping mountainside. Its silver hull shone like a star under the fierce morning light. Poetic, wouldn't you say? Said the voice. I would say it's broken, said the Ronin. B5 whined, disappointed. Doing what again? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you know where we are, Choco?
Yes.
You want to read?
B5 sighed as magnificently as Binary allowed. Together, they set off down the path that the last village in the mountains. Somewhere within it, they would find the Ronin's quarry, or they would find nothing. A cowardly part of him hoped for the latter. Perhaps it was this part that made him slow as they reached the last rise before the village proper, where a tea house stood beside an ancient bending pipe. A troubling odor wafted out of the structure into the road, and despite B5's scold, didn't they have somewhere to be? The Ronin let it lure him to the door. He found the shopkeeper, a tidy Celestin fellow whose rounded cheeks had grayed with age. Sitting on the clean, swept floor, fiddling with a rectangular power droid's wiring and bemoaning its temperamental nature. The Ronin's shadow startled the shopkeep, who scrambled upright to study the stranger. His wary black eyes flickered up to take in the Ronin's intimidating height, draped in the road-stained garb, and down to the two scabbards hung conspicuously at his waist.
Ooh. This novel arrives on October 12th. And judging from that excerpt, it feels like it's leading to the duel and then will continue after the duel. Because already you can see where he finds the shopkeeper, the Celestin. He's at the village. And this goes into the duel where he is there and he meets the Sith, and then they have their duel. So,
your lightsaber is red!
Jedi!
So what do you think this is hinting at?
So like a lot of the excerpt, or not a lot of, but there was some like attention given to the crystals that he's collecting and the way that they're beckoning him or wanting his attention. And even though it's not canon, I find that a very interesting kind of like take on a bled crystal. You know? I mean,
Yeah.
Assuming this is based in canon continuity, using bleeding crystals as their justification versus synthetic crystals. If in fact it was bled and the sentience of that crystal has become like so hungry, like just like a Darksider, where it would just require more and more from you, it would be pretty interesting.
Yeah. And the thing that is getting me is this voice that he's hearing. I wonder if we get kind of a Luke Skywalker's words in The Last Jedi. If you strike me down, I'll always be with you. Maybe in this, version, in this continuity, this warrior did strike down a Jedi, and she's been with him ever since.
Yeah.
As she's become his conscious, and he has the crystals on one side and her voice on the other. And I think the more crystals he adds to his collection, the more draw that they might have. It's an interesting concept. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm particularly interested to see the aftermath and where his story goes after the duel. So this chapter 1 excerpt is definitely a great kind of like little teaser that leads into the duel. And I'm pretty sure chapter 2 is going to like revisit the events of the duel, perhaps, or maybe the next few chapters. But it's going to be, I really hope that the novel is long enough to where we get like a nice little chunk of story about Ronin. But it goes to show you that Legends is still alive, and we're still getting
Absolutely.
stories for it. Brooke says, Power Droid! That means Gonk.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Gunk indeed.
Darth Man says, I so want a natural red kyber deposit somewhere in canon or Legends.
Yeah, giving a Jedi the ability to wield it. Yeah, it's or it'd be interesting if there was one that chose to turn red. So that's kind of what they do. But yeah, in Legends, you would just find a crystal and it was just whatever color you found.
Yeah, I don't, but of course, canonically, they wouldn't turn red, right? Because
Yeah.
that is like dark-sided nature. And was it Catalyst that said that? Was it Gale and Urso that said? Who is talking about kyber crystals and like them not working with the dark side willingly? That's why they had to be bled.
It's not in Catalyst. I know what you're referring to. I can't recall offhand. But yeah, I mean, we could see it more in these other projects, though. I mean, we saw it in the Ninth Jedi, and so there's some interesting stuff going on. Yeah, it's exciting to have this stuff coming out. Sadly, we had a delay happen with the Queen's Hope book, but found out it's not affecting Timothy Zahn's book because one's Disney, one's Del Rey.
But also like in KOTOR, are the red ones that you get just for coloring purposes? Like the red crystals, are they considered synthesized crystals?
Yeah, all the red crystals are just synthetic.
Gotcha.
In all of Legends. That's why in Legends like Adi Gallia used red. Luke Skywalker's Shoto was red. Yeah, you just found it.
Darth Man asks, they always start clear, right? Absolutely. I think the only one that doesn't or I don't know. The only one we don't know about, at least right now, is the Darksaber. All of the information we have on it suggests it is a Kyber crystal, although I'm thinking it's like a Crate Dragon's Pearl. I think that's going to be the eventual explanation for the Darksaber.
Either that or something to do with the Mythosaur.
Yeah, that too. Anything that leads him back to Mandalorian lore.
Yeah.
Xanatos asks you, when did Luke have a Shoto in Legends?
When did Luke have a Shoto in Legends? So he actually, in most of Legends, so he used it to fight against Lumia, because Lumia used a light whip, and he had a lot of difficulty dealing with her with his single saber. So he ended up picking up a Shoto as a way to deal with it. And so for most of Legends, he actually does carry a Shoto with him, but he just doesn't use it unless he absolutely needs to. His preference is single saber.
So, as I've said before, and as I've told you before, Brandon, I never really got into NJO. Is there anything that I need to read?
Need to read. Probably not anything that you haven't already read. I would say that if you haven't already read through the Heir to the Empire trilogy, to do that, as for a lot of people, that was like the birthplace of an expanded continuity. And so when you speak to people who are into Legends, they've all read that. They've all at least started with that. And most didn't go beyond it. So I don't know, that might be a good thing to do. I love the book Allegiance. I think it's fantastic. I think you should check that out just because it's a good story.
So Allegiance, the original Thrawn trilogy?
Yeah.
And Heir to the Empire, Hand of Thrawn duology, Xanatos says.
I wouldn't say you have to read the duology. You know, what was that? Specters of the Past, Visions of the Future.
But Last Command.
Yeah, so it's Heir to the Empire. Last Command is the third book. The second book is the Black Fleet, the something fleet. Man, my brain is. Dark Forces Rising? No.
Dark Forces, Shadow of the Empire, Rising. I'm surprised you're not suggesting that I read Jaina Solo stuff, even though it's like, what, 40 books plus?
And that's the thing, is in order to truly love Jaina, you have to understand Jaina. Although you really could just start with on the Legacy of the Force. They do enough to explain the other things going around. So yeah, that's it. Dark Forces Rising is the second book. So Heir to the Empire, Dark Forces Rising, and The Last Command.
Gotcha.
But even Legacy of the Force is what, 11 books?
And then there's what? It goes into like the Joiner Nest.
Joiner Nest is before that.
Oh, okay.
And it's weird. I don't know if I like
I mean,
it.
I could fathom Legacy of the Force 11 books. That's. But you suggest I read all of them to understand Jaina.
No. You could just do Legacy of the Force. If it intrigues you, then start doing some background stuff. But I just mean that there are going to be some locations and characters where their story were fleshed out earlier who are going to be in it, right? It's like let's say we get to like the third phase of the High Republic, and we won't know this until we get to the second phase. But it might be something where you can just jump straight into the second phase. and have enough information on the first to know what's happening and enjoy that,
Yeah.
That's kind of how this is. You don't necessarily. I mean, I personally didn't read them all in order. There was stuff I had to look up while reading.
So, this is almost like semi-open forum, but would you say the Heir to the Empire, to Dark Force, to Last Command, and then Legacy of the Force? Because I know Jason and Jaina are born during Last Command.
Yes. Yeah, you can do that. Personally, I'm not a fan of NJO. So there's some good parts of it. There's some just really weird and gross parts, and but yeah, you can jump to that point in time, and they're adults. They're doing their thing.
Right.
After, of course, you finish the Bane trilogy.
Yes.
The only reason I didn't mention that is because you're already reading it. So
yes. I'm reading a lot. But the next book isn't until like January, right? So we have in terms of like the High Republic, so we have quite a bit of breathing room to do what we want, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's to say, we won't
be able to
already
catch up on a lot of comics. That's my.
Are you caught up with War of the Bounty Hunters?
No.
Well, you're gonna have to, because we're moving on to Book of Boba Fett. Let's talk about this really quickly. So we got this poster. He's looking like he owns things, and naturally so. He killed Bib. I almost called him Boob. He killed Boob for tuna.
God, I'm sorry. I just shiver anytime Bib Fortuna is. I was so scared of him as a kid for so long that like he terrifies me. Yes, he was a little bit cuter in Tatooine Rhapsody. He still is terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at Boba Fett sitting there like it's about to be daddy time. Like.
Oh jeez, Chris is like, I need someone to talk more of the Bounty Hunters with. Hey man, we can talk. We can talk all day about that. But I would like Choco in the conversation too.
I'll be caught up soon.
Yeah. And Zanata said, at this point you can look up the Yuuzhan. I don't want to look up the Yuuzhan Vong, but he says look up the Yuuzhan Vong on Wikipedia. Save 22 books of reading about them. The thing is, like, okay, so Wikipedia is a very, very valuable repository of information, both canon and legends, but I try not to get information from Wikipedia because a lot of people's summations of things is very biased takes.
I mean, all summarizations are biased. Like, yes. I'm going to summarize the stuff that stood out to me, therefore it's biased by my perspective. So yeah, I'm in full agreement. I actually had someone ask me to like answer a question and that I didn't know. So I've only done this once. I made a video based off of information on Wikipedia, and it felt wrong. And I'm talking about this thing, and I don't know what I'm talking about. And I was like, this feels bad. Like,
so whenever I do have to look up something on Wikipedia, what I do is, since I didn't
use the sources.
Yes, since I didn't know about it beforehand, I will go to the information, look up the footnotes, go to where they got the information, and check the source itself, and read the actual source, as Chris is saying right now.
That's exactly what I do, because yeah, there's too much. I remember someone who was recently, like, he did the face line drawing or whatever, and he was replying to Shaylee's videos for some reason, and everything he said was wrong, but all of it was directly from Wikipedia, where you could tell. I don't know, it was just weird.
Yeah, it's always good to just get it straight from the source, because Wikipedia, again, when it's a summarization by someone else, right? And I also use Wikipedia to look up, because when I need like B-roll for videos, I'm like, when did this happen? And then I look it up on Wikipedia, the event of when it happened, and I go down to the sources and it says the episode and season. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that's good.
So speaking of Book of Boba Fett, season 2 will premiere, or season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett will premiere on Wednesday, December 29th. And they released this poster right here. Of course, we see Boba Fett sitting on the throne on Jabba's palace. And here it says, a thrilling Star Wars adventure finds legendary bounty hunter Boba Fett and mercenary Fennec Shand navigating the galaxy's underworld when they return to the sands of Tatooine to stake their claim on the territory once ruled by Jabba the Hutt and his crime syndicate. And just, going off of that short little synopsis, the takeaway is crime syndicate. And I do believe there's like leaked episode titles. Now I don't like looking at leaks, but I did scroll on like a video of one of my followers that did like list them, and I think it was Haley. Shame you, Haley. I did see the Syndicate as one of them, as one of the episodes, and I'm like, I can't help but get super hype at the fact that what we wanted from this series is what we're actually going to get, like the criminal underworld.
Yeah, I mean, we might get what essentially would have been Star Wars 1313, the canceled video game.
Yeah. And what are the chances we're gonna see Nar Shaddaa? We're gonna go
high. I would say very high. I'd be surprised if we don't.
What are the chances we're going to meet Crimson Dawn and maybe Emilia Clarke reprises her role as Kira?
That would be freaking dope. You think we're gonna run into Maul?
Maul's dead. I mean, unless it's a flashback.
Yeah, I mean, basically, yes.
Now, when was Solo released? 2017?
Yeah, 2018.
2018?
Last Jedi was 2017, and this came out the following, March.
Okay, so Solo came out 2018, 19, 20, 21. It's been 3 years. And Solo was 15 BBY, and we're looking at if we're going to Book of Boba Fett, around 8 to 9 ABY. That is a long time, but that makes sense because Emilia Clarke ages really well. Anyway, it just makes sense.
I mean, in the comics, we see what she looks like. Also, they are doing a resurgence of her character, and I don't believe all this stuff was done accidentally. I don't think it's by accident that Book of Boba Fett is happening when the tail end of the War of the Bounty Hunters is.
Yes.
And I hope that anyone reading book, this might get some nuggets of stuff that you're going to broach in the story. But we'll have to see.
It's going to be very, very interesting to think that Emilia Clarke might show up in Book of Boba Fett and effectively play someone that's in close to her 40s, I believe. But, it's believable that she would just look young for her age.
Or, I mean, if they could make Mark Hamill look young, then they can make her look a little older. That's a thing.
I mean, but would they though? Is the continuity so important that you need to make her look older?
I think they will make her look older, but Hollywood being Hollywood and her being, an attractive woman, they probably aren't going to do a whole lot because Yeah. And who knows? I mean, Brooke says there was a big Make Solo 2 happen movement. What if her reprising her role, we can get that train rolling again?
That's true. And then Chris also says, I'm thinking Kira may also be a villain in Lando if it's in the past. Yeah, I mean, everything kind
Uncle
of hinges
Wanwo.
Amelia Clarke is in her 30s. And if we're talking about 27 plus... How old was Solo? 19? 18? 16? 15? 14? 13? Wow.
No clue. I have no clue how old he was.
Well, he was born in like 31 BBY, wasn't he? Am I making... Okay, this is when I'm gonna Wikipedia it.
Because I feel like his birth
was
31
like
BBY. Yeah.
So, by the time Solo, he is 16? Yes, he's 16 in Solo. 27 years later.
He's 10 years older than Skywalker's.
But he's the same age as Kira, right? Am I imagining this?
I assume that they're close in age. I think that's a safe assumption, but I don't know. Sorry, I know I'm being squirrely, but I hate to say things that I'm not positive about.
If Bo-Katan can look like that after 20 years, Kira can look just as how she is. Yes, absolutely. I'm on 100% with you on that, Brooke.
That's just what Katie Sackhoff really looks like.
Okay.
According to this, yeah, they should be the same age.
So Chris says he's 17. So let's take 17. Going to A New Hope, he should be 32. And in Mandalorian, 37.
Yeah, I mean, if he was born in 31 BBY, then he would be 31 at the Battle of Yavin.
Hey, relax, Chief. 38 then, right?
I mean, Mando happens, 5 years later. Yeah, so
38.
At least 30. Yeah.
Okay, so 38. Yeah, no, she's the right age to play it. They don't need to make her look older. In fact, it makes sense because of her age and her playing a 17-year-old.
Yeah, it makes more sense for her.
Yeah. She's good to go. Amelia Clarke's good to go to show up in Book of Boba Fett. Or in a Lando show, to be completely honest. There's more chances they will de-age her than make her look older. What is the opposite of de-age? Re-age? Pro-age? Mando starts in 8 BBY. So if Book of Boba Fett is like right after season 2 of Mando, then yes, ABY, 9 ABY. So he would be 40. So it makes sense for Amelia. I don't know if age up. Thank you, Sanitos. Age up. It makes sense. Amelia Clarke's gonna look like she's 22 into her 50s. Anyway. And there's just no stopping her. But this is gonna be incredible to kind of like get the Pike Syndicate, what's their face?
Black Sun?
Black Sun.
Black Hole Sun.
The Hutts. What were they again in Bad Batch? Durant Syndicate?
We also have I mean, isn't this around the time when like Rin Riven Dai is starting to take over some of the old territory from the Hutts?
Yes.
Shout out to Leia Bloodline.
And you think we'll see some people from Bloodline, just like younger? You think we'll see some Maxine's?
We could. I mean, there's a lot of people that we might be able to see. Again, we don't want it to be a cameo fest, but if you could force any known character to show up in it, who you gonna put in there? And this question goes to everyone in the chat as well. You get to choose one other character that's around at that time, right? Let's not get wild. Don't say Loden Greatstorm, because that's High Republic, and obviously that's 200 years in the past. But
Casterfo.
Yeah. Ooh, you want a young Ransom?
Mm-hmm. Just want to see what he'd be like during that time. It's closer to the fall of the Empire. He's got that, he's collecting things. He's would you call him a sympathizer?
Hungry.
Yeah.
Who, I don't know, right? Because the character had some really, really bad memories of Vader,
but he collected Imperial artifacts.
Eventually. So I don't know when that change kind of happened. But I would love to see him.
The real question are Kira and Han the same species? I would think that they're human. Right? Corellian humans? They were born in Corellia, right? And they were taken in by not Proxima Midnight, Lady Proxima.
Yeah. They should have been. They were white worms. And they were both born there, or at least that's where their memories start. Because we also have the book. It's not Last Shot, but there was a book that is a prequel to the Solo story. Let's see here. Star Wars Lawyer says he wants Dirge to show up. Which, yeah. I mean, Dirge is alive in canon around that time. Darth Man, Hondo. We for sure need Hondo. And Ace Bronx stole mine. Embo. I want Embo. I want a whole Crate's Claw reunion.
I want Embo too, but Cad was set up so hard in the Bad Batch to be antagonistic to Boba Fett in this time. Like old wounds or old rivals.
Yeah, we get that Western vibe. No, I would. I mean, we would love to see this.
We would love to see that.
But I just need Boba Fett to show up on his farm and see him sitting there toiling and being like, a man of your talent farming, really? I need it. Sadly, his dog died.
Yeah.
Wolf dog.
So Han and Kira are Corellian humans. I think, Wedge is too.
Yeah.
Live action Cad versus Boba. I think we're getting that for sure. Unfortunately, for the sake of the fandom and for the sake of the perpetuation of Boba Fett, Cad doesn't survive that duel. Unless they announce in the next year a Cad Bane show. Do you think there's enough demand for a Cad Bane show? I think so.
It's hard to say. I mean, among specific fans, among fans of the Clone Wars, what percentage of the entire fan base that makes, I'm not certain. They're certainly vocal. Xanatos says a young Holdo. Yeah, we could see a young Holdo, and she might still kind of be like a hippie at this point in time. That might be interesting. Shout out to Leia, Princess of Alderaan. Another good book.
I feel like someone was trying to do like emojis.
Yes. There's a bunch of kanji, and then a whale, dolphin, whale, sunflower.
Okinawa kara sekai e. And then hyaring. And then woman gesturing no. Woman gesturing no. Yes, everyone loves an Embo show. I thought Cad Bane was annoying until Bad Batch. If they do it right, I wouldn't mind. Listen, you know what? We're in the open forum segment now, because we're about to start winding things down. This was a very chill episode. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. But you know, there, if you read Catalyst and you go back and rewatch Rogue One, you will notice that Jyn Erso, they don't show the list of project names. They don't show it on the list of project names, but she does verbally say Mark Omega. Now, I do want a show starring Omega, and we could have Cad Bane as like one of her foils or one of her like recurring antagonists. But yeah, I would love to see that show for sure. And Hondo could be in it too, just for everyone else's fan services.
Yeah, just
we'll just call it Mark Omega or Project Omega.
Amber says she wants a young Phasma. I don't know that we could see her in Boba Fett though.
How old is she in episode 7? 30?
Well, I mean, we wouldn't really see her until the emergence of the First Order. Like, she goes straight from her planet, which essentially was had this crazy defense system set up around the planet to protect it, because it was like this corporate mining world. And then they accidentally caused like a nuclear explosion, and their world turned into like a weird Mad Max world, but it had no communications with the outside, so all these people were just trapped there. So they had to figure out a way to get off of that planet and make it back through. So like her entire formative years were all on this one planet until she runs directly into the First Order and then gets taken in by them. So until we start seeing, I mean, but we don't know. We could see, the seeds of what become the First Order at some point in time, and she could be part of that though.
Yeah. Cad and Hondo could be enough, given the story premise. I just want to see more Cad, and I want to see Stephen Lang play him, because I just think that is the most perfect casting I've ever come up with.
It is really good casting. Yeah.
Man, I do believe I have a Japanese viewer. So, I guess quoting from Twitter, 大丈夫? 僕最強だから. Which is okay. It's okay. I'm the strongest. I don't know what trying to say here. This is interesting. This is Let's see. Okay, no, those are just emojis. I know the character in the middle of the parentheses is Hito or Jin, but they're just making happy faces. But yeah, we're in the open forum segment right now. Before we start to wind things down, anything you guys want to talk about?
It looks like Connor's mentioning the November Disney Day event. What we might see from that's upcoming. What do you think we might see?
What might we see versus what I hope to see? I think I hope to see more information on Rogue Squadron, as Xanatos points out. Maybe a trailer for Kenobi finally, like, you know, the here's the sneak peek that from the Investors Day that we couldn't see behind closed doors. They have finished. They have wrapped filming on Kenobi, so that's finished.
Yes, they have.
So
we better get a trailer there.
Yeah, it's in post production now, and if it's in November, there's this whole month plus a couple of days until the Disney event. So perhaps they'll be able to put together a trailer or so. I mean, they put together something for Andor, and it was just concept art. So what else, man?
I'm just checking to see if it's a possibility because I can't remember what positions I liquidated, but I think we're gonna try to go.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
It's open to the public?
I believe I'm a shareholder, but I can't remember if I sold. No, I'm still a shareholder. Yeah.
Listen, do you have a +1?
I do not, but
but if you go as a shareholder, you wouldn't be able to. You'd probably be NDA'd.
Possibly. But we would have to see. Yeah, at the start of quarantine, Disney like dropped. It was at like $180 per share, and it dropped down to 80. So I just like bought a bunch of shares.
Interesting.
Oh, I put all of my money in the stock market when it crashed. Just for you guys to know, when the stock market crashes, that's the time to put your money in it. Right?
That's good information. I should have.
And if it crashes, if it crashes and you have money in it, leave your money in it. Like, people get scared, they pull their money out, and like your big investment just turned into a really small one, and then you pulled out these pennies, even though it's going to go back up again at some point in time. Like,
I should have invested in AMC when it was at $8. Now it's at like 36.
Yeah, and we talked about it.
Yeah.
Because at that point, that's when people were talking about investing in Dogecoin, and I did.
The thing is, like, it's for a newbie, it's very difficult to take the first step.
I get that. All I'm saying is I put in like 400 extra bucks, and then I pulled out like $2,000. So
fuck me. Yeah, Amber wants to see more of Acolyte. Well, we could definitely see an Acolyte trailer. Maybe. I don't know where it lands in the slate. It could be one of the last shows that we see. Lando, Andor, Kenobi coming first, and then Mandalorian Season 3. I would love to see Taika Waititi's movie have a title. And I would love for Rian Johnson to give some information as to what the story, the setting, the placing of his trilogy is going to be.
If I'm Rian Johnson, I ain't saying nothing yet. I mean, also he has more movies within the realm of Knives Out that are going to be coming out, straight to Netflix.
I love his whodunit, to be honest.
Yeah, no, he's super talented guy, and also if you are part of like the discourse online, you see the love for The Last Jedi. Like, I mean, it wasn't so long ago that I remember seeing some creators saying, "I've never seen anyone that likes it, so we can't talk to it." You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, now I can't throw a rock without hitting a TLJ fan. So like, it's the discourse is changing a lot, but can you imagine how much is going to change in one more year?
It's going to be a whole new landscape in a year. Because as much as my content has taken a turn into like defense again, to get defense against the dark arts, defense videos as of late, more of my comment section is in defense now versus when I first started and I was like, I love The Last Jedi. Everyone was like, no man, Last Jedi is trash, 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 trash. Now, like, nowadays, everyone in the community gets it, or at least is coming out and saying they love it now.
Yeah.
Because there are some people that I don't recognize in my comment section saying that they love The Last Jedi. And I'm pretty sure there are people who just didn't feel or didn't have the courage to admit it. Because of how much like hate there was circulating in the social medias. So within a year, especially if we get like Mandalorian Season 3 and like Book of Boba Fett and all of these shows that are within the New Republic era, like kind of like fleshing things out in that time, and we may even get a couple of hints with Luke and Ahsoka, the story there. It's just gonna get more and more, we're gonna get more and more context. It's gonna be like Clone Wars all over again. The sequel trilogy is just gonna get more beef added to the bones, and people are gonna start it's gonna start becoming common knowledge. As in my video, lots of things become common knowledge. And people tell them things and they think, oh, this has always been the case. This is the info we got from the movies. This is not true. 40 years of Star Wars will give you a lot of things that you thought you got just from the movies. And whenever I get people in the comment sections like, you know, the sequels are bad because a lot of answers are left in the book. And I'm like, well, we didn't have a lot of answers back then either. And it took more time. In fact, we got a lot of answers in tandem with the movies this time.
Yeah. It's funny. One of the ones I hear all the time is about the bombers in The Last Jedi. I'm like, oh, there's no gravity. I just watched a woman fall off a ladder in between the bombs. Obviously, there's gravity. Yeah. But you know, they after the fact, you know, they wrote in an excuse or whatever, and you're like, we actually get information on the ships in the book Cobalt Squadron, which came out the same day, meaning it wasn't after the fact. This was baked in. This was the plan all along. So
it's always been there, man. I mean, we don't have extended versions for a reason. I mean, I would love like a 4-hour cut of The Last Jedi, but we don't. So we have the books, and we have every other piece of media that comes out that kind of explains things or lends context to it because of it being cut out or something.
Yeah.
I think they all got bored because we got bored with their harassment. Maybe. Azanato says, I have liked the sequels more over the years because of people's bonkers takes on what they don't like. It's really difficult to be critical, right? It's really difficult to be genuinely and reasonably critical about these movies with people just being straight garbage about them. And I hate to use like superlatives like that, but like seriously, if I can't critique the movie because someone else is making like critique out to be like very, very, you know, extreme hateful language and toxic language, you just can't be critical about it.
Yeah. Darth Man, no, we mentioned it before, but I've been enjoying your reviews on Visions. To be honest, I haven't even put up my own on TikTok at least yet, and I haven't finished the other ones on YouTube. I'm hopefully going to get all of those done today. But yeah, I've been enjoying them.
Oh, okay, so that's what he meant by masters?
He has a correction, 2 down.
Oh, okay. My bad. So of the ones that I've seen of yours that you've tagged me in, I thought they were great, you know, but like, honestly, when the comments start coming in and the mentions get buried, sometimes I won't see a lot of things, so I do apologize if I haven't interacted with all of your reviews, Darthman, but of the ones that I did watch, you will see me at least provide a heart. But otherwise, I have nothing really bad to say about the reviews. I think they're pretty honest.
Yeah, all fair. Yeah.
The more I think about it, I have a feeling Taika Waititi will probs done a wacky High Republic movie. Let me read this in British, sorry. The more I think about it, I have a feeling Taika Waititi will probs done a wacky High Republic movie, right? Did I read that correctly? I have to.
Sorry, that like it took on some extra inflections that were just like, oh man.
But I feel like it makes more sense in that accent, no? Right? I have a feeling, or I have a feeling, Taika Waititi will probs done a wacky High Republic movie. That it makes sense in that accent, and I think that's how he's typing.
And Amber, yes, Darthman86 is his TikTok handle. Go follow him.
Oh man, Connor with the snapback. Listen. I just got to do it. Ace Bronx says I used to hate on TLJ until I found you guys. Now it's in my top 5. Now, again, we have to reiterate this. Our jobs or our intent was never to make people like it, right? If you came in our comment section and said, I didn't like TLJ, we often asked why. And if you provided points that were factually incorrect, we would correct those points. And you would get people like Ace Bronx, who honestly comes to like The Last Jedi because he's no longer operating on false information. If you think that The Last Jedi is about Luke trying to kill his child nephew because of a bad dream, of course you're like, that don't make sense.
Yeah, I often say that if I thought that's what happened, I wouldn't like it either.
Yes. But yeah, it's all about like our defense of the sequels. Like 99% of the time is not defense. It is straight up correcting misinformation. And once you've corrected that misinformation, you'll oftentimes be like, all right, well that does make sense now. This is actually a pretty good movie. I mean, like, I just received a comment on my video today, or yesterday, where they were like, no one has a problem with Jyn Erso because she's not part of like the social justice agenda. And I was just like, as I was reading the comment, I was like, let's engage in this with good faith. And then he said social justice, and I was like, never mind. Because that's clearly a position gotten from a YouTube video. You know, no one just like is born knowing what social justice warrior agenda is. So you got it from somewhere. And that's the thing about like most of these views. They're positions that are gotten from somewhere. Like whenever I talk about The Last Jedi, or whenever Choco does, and we're correcting misinformation, we are using our own information, our own interpretations, and that's why it never feels like you hear us say the same thing twice. Except I always use the river, water wheel, dam analogy a lot, but you will never feel like Choco and I are using talking points. Excuse me. So,
well, I would always rather listen to what someone has to say and respond to what they are saying. Now, people that get their points from elsewhere, I will do a form letter and just, you know, save one reply and just paste it because they're all saying the same thing. But I do try to provide unique explanations for people.
That makes sense. I mean, Connor says, I'm a Geordie. Say it in Geordie accent. I can't. I don't have a Geordie accent. That's how esoteric that accent is.
Okay, let me see here.
Oh, Choco gonna do it.
You know, Captain, I've never seen a sunrise. At least not the way you do. Oh, that's Geordie LaForge from Star Trek.
Wow.
It was Geordie, and I feel like I nailed it. His vocal inflections.
His name is Lee. God damn it. Chris says y'all's conversation with my brother on TLJ will be interesting. Oh, do we have a conversation coming up with your brother? I'm sorry. I haven't looked at my calendar recently. Chris, are we having a conversation? Trying to get 1,000 by the end of the year, everyone. I'm currently at 725. Hey, go follow Darthman86 on TikTok, please. It's Darthman86.
Do it. Also, speaking of following people, there actually is an account for Star Wars Explained on TikTok now. And notice their follow count is like 3,000 or something like that. And I get it because I assumed it was a fan account, but I reached out and verified that that is their official account. So let me see. Let me grab the name of it real quick. You know what? I will do a duet on it, but y'all need to follow that account. I was like, how am I gonna find it real quick?
Ace Bronx says, I mostly didn't like it because I thought they ruined Luke, but just didn't understand his development. And that's perfectly understandable. And that's like a critique that is valid, but requires further analysis.
Yeah. And a lot of things, you just have to ask why. What could have happened to get here? And that's part of the story. So Star Wars Explained, it's just Star Wars Explain. But he has the logo. So just
Star Wars Explain on TikTok?
On TikTok, yeah.
Oh, so did he start doing TikToks, or is it just clips right now?
He started doing shorts and is killing two birds with one stone. But yeah, that I did verify that is Alex and Molly checking it out. Also, Alex is going to make an appearance on the High Ground in a couple weeks.
Woo!
Keep y'all posted on that.
What's the subject on that, or is that undecided yet?
Undecided yet. So this upcoming week, since this whole, I've seen a lot more conversations on canon. This upcoming week, we're going to be talking about, Star Wars and canon and its place, and legends and all this stuff. And for that one, I am excited because I have Odin actually and that Star Wars guy.
Hey.
Star Wars fact guy. Sorry.
Oh, New Zealand guy.
Yes.
Gotcha. Because there was a couple of Star Wars guys at some point on TikTok, and I was like,
there is the Star Wars guys, and then there is that Star Wars guy, but he mostly does comics now.
Yeah,
I might have him on as well. He's kicking butt on comics. Awesome dude.
Okay, Element, is this better? I think y'all think y'all rootin' tootin' think Taika Waititi America will make a High Republic wacky ass movie, huh? That's how that read to me. The funniest part is that y'all think y'all rootin'.
That was pretty accurate.
Yeah. As Xanatid says, that's 3 of the U.S. states for sure. No, it'll probably be at Celebration unless y'all talk about it. If y'all bring him on Diet or High Ground, that that is a possibility. I mean, I think it kind of like it makes sense to me to do like an offshoot show or splinter show. What's it called? A spin-off of kind of Dyad in the High Ground, and do like one of the days where it's just us and like whoever and 2 other people who like share a disagreeing position, and see if we can kind of bring them around.
I've thought about that. If the people that we are talking to fully know what they're getting into, then I'm cool with it.
Well, it would,
I don't want to like surprise people like, haha, I gotcha,
Yeah, no. The premise of the show definitely would be to have good faith conversations with people that disagree. and just see where it goes from there. It's not like one of those gotcha. Like, I definitely wouldn't bring one person on to talk to both of us. You know?
What would that be like?
That's like, you know, I don't even want to imagine. I know I'm like tooting my own horn right now, but the both of us against someone is just there's no way past that.
That's why I felt okay being the one person the last time that happened.
Oh, so like, yeah, I mean, like, I feel like that premise is like captivating, but like you put that person in an awkward position, you know, being the only person that shares that position. It should always be an equal kind of like equal footing. Yeah.
And having two people is always great because there's always, I mean, you know me, there's times where I just can't think of the thing, the word, or whatever. So that's always nice.
Ace Bronx says, get Star Wars theory. Listen,
I could try. I can ask him.
I've asked him so many times, but I've come to the conclusion that he would most rather talk to Choco. So maybe like the chances of getting him on the high ground is far greater. That just means Choco would have to ninja me in like Ethan Klein and Steven Crowder and
logging off.
We'd have to do that thing, you know. But I don't know, man. I've tweeted at Star Wars Theory plenty of times and invited him to have a discussion with us. Nothing about like, you know, putting him on the spot or anything. Just like be on the show and talk about Star Wars. But he doesn't want to.
I'm gonna try to get him on, and but just to like share his Star Wars story and like all that stuff, because those are things that are universally upbuilding. Mm-hmm. How we found it, our journey through it, and the fandom, and all that good stuff. So that's what I would like to do.
Yeah, we're all about uplifting people. But
even if they tell me that I don't know my lore.
No, but on TikTok and then Twitter, if you challenge us, we will hit back. The dunks are not off the table. Especially if you, just like Choco says, like, especially if you say you don't know Star Wars, or if you posit that the creators just want a female savior, and you only literally have like 4 movies to point to out of dozens of movies and shows where that was in fact the case, but it's not the case because they're just female leads. The language surrounding female savior, it like also like, are you single? It's I mean, I'm single, but
it's just really telling, in my opinion, because when you have been pandered to your entire life, you feel like there's no pandering happening, because that is just the default. So if something isn't explicitly made for you, then it feels off. It feels icky, right? Something's wrong with this. And everyone else who's only received things that were not pandered at, it feels the same. If something, you know, like let's say it is pandering to women, and you know, being a black guy, it's not pandered to me. You know, it's the same to me as all this other stuff. So I don't notice anything.
Yeah. I got a comment on my video dunking on that guy that said that, and they said they had seen a TikTok where someone was like enjoying Rey and like worshiping Rey, and the comment section in there, someone said, "Who do the boys have to look up to now?" And I'm like,
Luke, Anakin, Lando, Han, like
Andor.
everyone.
I mean, all of the shows, save for Ahsoka, Acolyte, and the sequels, are male heroes and like mentor figures that you can look up to. I will say not to look up to Anakin.
But people want to really badly. Now, speaking of which, hopefully we'll also be able to get Christina Ariel on here. She did tell me in the past that she was going to be busy until October. It is now October, so
yeah,
let's get that scheduled out.
Both of you against anyone is death to the creator. I mean, it would have to be an against type of situation, right?
Well, it's not like it's interesting because it's not like a fight or anything. It's just accurate information.
Yes.
If you don't look for it, you won't find it. You know.
Oh man, I got into it with somebody in my comment section until I finally said no. Where he was talking about like why the New Republic demilitarized when we have real world examples of governments like not doing that. And I was like, why would they act with real world like circumstances? Their own world is what informs their political decisions. And I mean, and I was like, just read Bloodline. And he's like, no, I don't want to read a stupid book. And I'm just like, then why are you making assumptions about like the decisions that the government made based on real world information when none of that's going to inform them? And he started to get really, really like bad faith, and I just had to block him. But like, come on, man. I think it's in the beginning of Bloodline. Like they wanted to avoid the Empire, so they didn't want to centralize power and have like this big iron fist military. And so that's why they did it. The circumstances of what came before them informed it. They're not going to look to US history and world history to inform how the New Republic runs.
Yeah.
Chris says, I have a draft response to one of those wild comments on your videos. Hey, go for it, man. What's up, Dago Vere? Let's go.
Let's go.
Ready up. That's a great one, man. I love that. Ready up. I like that. What's good, Dago Vere? It looks like everyone else has winded down as much as we have to wind down because we are out of time. We're Diet in the Forest. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. This was a chill episode as always when it's just us and the chat hanging out, talking about things y'all want to talk about. It's always a good time. And Tommy P, where you been, dude? Where you been?
Tommy P in the chat. How you doing, buddy?
You missed the trivia rush, man. But we're like wrapping up now. So you're gonna have to catch us again on High Ground next week. I'm gonna start streaming more like video games as I play them. Apex Legends, Destiny 2. I'm just gonna start streaming more throughout the week. Just like everyone else. I am following suit. So that means follow twitch.tv/Star Wars Lawyer, twitch.tv/B__Dazzler, twitch.tv/Cal4. And if anyone else here streams, leave it in the chat.
Let us know.
Follow everyone. But again, as everyone else is streaming Jedi Fallen Order, Pokemon, all that good stuff, I'm going to stream Destiny 2, Apex Legends. I might even stream some new games, maybe New World. I've been looking into it. Doesn't look like it's a good thing for me. Looking at the reviews. But I'm hoping to spend more time with you guys in the chat. It's always a fun time hanging out with everyone. Do you have any final thoughts, Choco? Anything else you want to say?
No, just join us on the high ground, this week, and we're gonna have a fun conversation there. And keep joining us here. We certainly appreciate it, and all of our squadron members. And join us in movie watch-alongs, and watch me be confused about Harry Potter and not understand how things work.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for mentioning that. If you guys want to support the channel at any given point for the price of coffee per month, you can support Diet in the Force and my content creation needs, and watch along with Darth Choco. This month we are doing Harry Potter, the first time he's watched it. Also, I updated my socials. So my Twitter is now _element7_. And my Instagram is _element7_. The only thing I couldn't get to really match is my YouTube, because whatever. But a huge thank you to Squadron 7, our current members, St. Pat in the X-Wing, Kiosco Hecho and the TIE Whisper, Grandmaster Bale, Harith Productions, DePaul and the Super Star Destroyer Fleet, Nerd Connor, who is the squadron leader of U-Wing, of the U-Wing Squadron, with Gray, the Levi Bond in the TIE Interceptor, Masa in the Y-Wing, X-Core Gamer Skills in the A-Wing, Cal4, Car2D2 in the VCX 100, Brian with the beard, Brian with the bread, Brian with the beard bread, Brian with the bread beard in Boba Fett's starship, Darth Choco himself, and Arya L in the Jedi Vector with our reserve pilots Johnsky, Julia Christine, Xanatos 1138, and I think Xanatos, you did choose one, but I missed it, so leave your starship in the chat right now and I'll write it down. But we also have Star Wars Scholar, Mentally Ill Sith Lord, Jesse in the TIE Defender, Star Wars Lawyer in the Lady Luck, Padawan's Podcast, Kenobi and the Jedi Starfighter 2, Mabe in the Razor Crest, and a new addition to the squadron, B Dazzler in the Mantis. Thank you guys so much for being members and supporting full-time content creation. It means a lot to us and to me personally. Yeah, come hang out with us on Discord and watch some movies with me and Choco. It's going to be a blast. But as always, I am Element 7, your lore master to learn Star Wars faster. And that is Choco, lore keeper, eloquent speaker. That is it. On to the next one.
For light and for life.
We are all the Republic.
May the Force be with you.